Hello and welcome back to the channel of the Reds TV with me, Andy. Good to be back on here after a few days of rest and no midweek game to concentrate on for the Reds. As I always say at the beginning, please like, please share, and please subscribe to the channel. So, this one is the pre-match warm up. To our home game against Man City on Sunday with the 4:30 kickoff. But before we start on that, I just want to bring up a couple of things that have happened on the off the pitch at at Liverpool. Okay, so the first one was, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was Standard Chartered doing their roundtable video with Hugh Slot and Hogan. I've watched it all. I think I did put it out on X for you guys to have a watch and put your own thoughts on that. It was hosted by a Liverpool fan, Sally Gummelsall. So, look, I watched it, okay, and if I'm honest with you guys, for me, it was just like a pat on the back from Hughes to Slot and from Hogan to Slot about winning the league last season. I just felt like that the questions were pre-scripted, if I'm honest with you, and I didn't feel easy with the questions that were being asked. I probably wasn't happy with the answers because I knew exactly what they were going to be. Slot did mention, look, he'd rather play attractive football than winning games without playing attractive football. I mean, what a silly thing to say. Football at the end of the day is a results business, and we live and die by that. So it was a strange thing for him to say. I like the video content where it showed us winning the league and how the celebrations were. Odd that Hugh said he was happy with the transfer business and that they were still all aligned. Hogan was happy with what FSG have done since they took over and how things are progressing in the short and long term. So yeah, funny how that video was sent out after the Newcastle result, where the supporters would have been on a bit of a high, and most of you probably wouldn't have bothered watching that. But some have said to me it was a good insight. I didn't realise this happened or that happened, and but for me, I've seen it all before. So yeah, I could have switched off after 5 minutes, but I didn't. I thought I wouldn't do it any justice for me to make a comment if I did that. So I watched all of it. Something else I watched yesterday that was done by Sky, by the ex-Manc, and as I call him, the Sky um, Slim Ball, Gary Neville. He interviewed Virgil van Dijk, and Virgil van Dijk said it's been a long time, and Neville said it's been 3 years. So that's the last time that Van Dijk ever spoke to Neville. And you know, I had to agree with Virgil. He was having a go at the pundits, not the supporters, I think, but the pundits that are having a go at the younger players in the football world. And he said it's different from when he started playing to now what it is. And he said that those ex-players should know better. And obviously he's having a go at the United players that are spouting all the crap on about players at their club and players at other clubs. And I think that was a dig at Neville as well, because he's the worst one. If you listen to his after-match podcasts or when you're watching the game, no doubt he'll be doing our game on Sunday. You watch his tone of his voice when we do something bad or when a player does it, to the tone of a Man City player. or a Man United player, you just listen to his tone. He just writes us off. He willingly wants us to get beat in every game. That's no secret. He's a United player and a United fan. So, but I wouldn't have had him anywhere near the AXA training ground this week. No way would I have had him anywhere near. Um, so, but he never turned round to Virgil van Dijk and said, "You know what? You're right, Virgil. We should be protecting these young players. We shouldn't be saying this." But he didn't. He was wanting Virgil van Dijk to giving him a punchline or something so he can use it over the weekend or weeks to come. And every respect for Virgil to doing that interview with him. And like I say, it was really good. And so Virgil, he's more than a captain at the club. He said he looks after the young players. He said that the team have needed time to develop, and they are doing, and they're getting better and better. But every mistake, every setback, we just get up and go again. So that was his message. So on the player news, it was nice to see Ibu was back, but there's been something that's come out this week about Ibu Konate will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. It doesn't look like the club are going to budge on the offer that they've made to him, and Real Madrid have come back onto the table because they'd cool their interest in him, because they were hoping to get one of the players that we've got, Jacquet. They were looking to get Mark Guéhi. He's gone to City, and they were looking for another couple of other players. I think the player that was at Bayern Munich, and he's signed an extended contract, so they've missed out. So they've gone back to square one, which is Ibu Konate. But they've said to Konate, "You've got to drop your wage demands." So, but I think they'll have competition from PSG and Barcelona sniffing as well, because they're after a centre half, and Ibu's gone to the top of the tree now because of his availability. So the transfer window closed, didn't it? And did you know we've actually signed 4 players in this window? Well, when I say we've signed 4 players, not for now. We've signed them for the future and not for the present. So I'm going to go through them. Okay, so we've got a player that we've signed from Austria Vienna. He's a 17-year-old centre-back, believe it or not. And we've paid 2.6 million for him. And you'll have to forgive me for the names that I say on here, but he's already made a good impression for Liverpool in the under-21s team. His name is Ifiani and we. Okay, so if he's listening to this or watching it, or you're a relative of his, I do apologise. But like I say, we paid 2.6 million for him, and he's a 17-year-old lad. Another centre half that we've signed for the academy is a 18-year-old, and we've paid £1 million from him, from a team called Amite FC. He's Senegal. He's called Mortala Undayi. I can pronounce that one okay. And again, he's one for the future. So, and then we've got a 19-year-old that we've signed from Burnley. I've put no fee on here because I couldn't find if we'd paid any transfer money from him, or he's just left Burnley and we've just taken him on. His name's Noah Adikoa. So he's 19 as well. and yeah, another centre back. So here we go, and the final one is probably the most famous one of the signings. He's Jeremy Jacquet, 20 years old, centre back, signed from Rennes, and his value is a bit more, 55 million plus 5 million add-ons, and he'll join us in the 1st of July. So no first team signings, and you know my views on that. We're still short in this transfer window, and you know we're now coming to the business end of the season, and we're only 1 or 2 injuries away from that being a bit of a disaster for us. Okay, so let's look at our opponents then. Okay, Man City, who we have recently gone toe to toe with, in the league over a number of years. Last 4 games: home to Brighton, they drew 1-1. Away at Man United, they lost 2-0. Then they were home to Wolves and they won 2-0. And they went away to Spurs and they drew that game 2-2 after being 2-0 at half time. So played 4, won 1, drawn 2, lost 1, scored 5, and had 5 goals scored against them. So in the table, we know that they're like second. They're at 24 games in, 14 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. They've scored 49 goals and conceded 23. They're on 47 points, and we're only 8 points behind them. So in Pep's presser today, he was playing mind games with us. He's saying that he's not going to start Haaland, or there's a possibility he won't start. He's going to look at other options that are available for him. Look, attacking wise, he's got loads of options. And yeah, Haaland's going through a bit of a blip, isn't he? But all strikers do that. But I don't think he can play to the strengths of the players that are around him. So, but yeah, they are vulnerable at the back. Hence the goals that they are leaking. Yeah, they kept a clean sheet, Wolves, but you've got to look at the Champions League. Glint, they put 3 past them, didn't they? So this is going to be an open game, and it's a game that we must win and keep the pressure on Manchester United and Chelsea. So the players and the coaching staff, who've had a near full week to prepare for this fixture, incidentally, which is excuse me, the first of 3 games this coming week. We've got Sunderland midweek next Wednesday, 8:15 kickoff away. Then that's followed by the FA Cup game against Brighton at home on Saturday. That's another 8 p.m. Kickoff there. So yeah, I'm very much hoping that this will not be another game after we've had a victory that becomes another false dawn. And after the much improved result against Newcastle, I don't want it to be that. I want us to be on the front foot from the onset. So let's have a look at Slot's presser, shall we? He was asked about Jeremy Jacquet. He said the signing, he says, a big talent. We weren't the only ones who wanted him. We used our model, and thanks to the team above, we got him. So he's happy about him. Play for the future. Asked about players that are injured. Frimpong's still out. Joey Gomez, he might train on Saturday. He is close to a return to the team. He said, not the starting, but get him on the bench. On the City game, he said we were outplayed in the first half at their place, and we should have had a goal given if it wasn't for the intervention of VAR that went against us. And so obviously it still riles him that we didn't get that goal before half time. He said, now we are coming to the end phase of the season. Results are really important to all 20 teams this weekend. So I ain't being funny, Slot, but all results are important for me. Game one, right the way down to this game here. So all results are really important, no matter when you play them. And this was a funny one. He said, we've played many games better than Newcastle's last hour. Really? I don't see that at all. I can't think of a game, maybe Real Madrid, possibly. But no, I can't see where we've played games better than the last hour of Newcastle's games. So he was asked about the players. He said, look, they're getting fitter and better and stronger to play both in the Premier and Champions League. This is case for the new signings, and obviously Wirtz is one of those. He said he's getting better understanding with the rest of the team, both on and off the ball. He said we're in a development stage. The team hasn't found its level of consistency yet, but we are getting there. So, yeah, asked again about the lack of January signings. He said this club does not panic buy. It always acts for the long term. He said Virgil van Dijk won't be here for the next 10 years. There is life without him, mid to long term in the future. He was asked about Curtis Jones nearly leaving in January window. If you know that Inter Milan was sniffing around, said that they wanted to take him on loan with a view to buying him at the end of the season. This is what he said. I'm glad we kept him. With only 16 outfield players, it would have been strange if he left. And he also said about him, he has played lots of minutes. He's been unlucky because there have not been many injuries where he plays. For me, if we had enough players in about that area, Slot would have been happy for our only scouser in the team to leave this January. That's the way I read it. So yeah, I wasn't best pleased that that story was going about, and he was on the verge of leaving Liverpool Football Club, where he's been there from a young age. Yet again, another young player, talented player, coming through the ranks at Liverpool, being let go by, or nearly let go on this occasion by Arne Slot. Look at the players that have left. Kwanzaa's doing all right. He's played 20 odd games at Leverkusen. Tyler Morton's doing all right, and he's playing his best football in France. So, I could name more, but they're just two that are just coming to my mind as well. Those that have come through the academy, they've been out on to other clubs, and yet they are now playing the trade and doing really well. So yeah. And on Kirkes, he said you have to keep trust and belief in them by playing them, and he is one of the lads that has initially found it difficult, but he felt that he needed to play him for him to understand what it's like playing for a big club like Liverpool. So, and he said he's doing really well. He was asked about him. Look, my take on the game before I name my team, which incidentally you won't find too much of a surprise. If we start like we did against Newcastle, City will punish us in the first 30 minutes. If you just look at them, how they took Newcastle to task with the way they played, it was so easy, and they've got better finishers than what Newcastle have got. I don't want to be 2 goals down before we get our act together. And if I'm honest with you guys, because we need to be on it from the onset. And like I've said to you before, I do not want Newcastle's result. In fact, the result against Qarabag, because it's 2 wins on the trot, 10 goals scored. I don't want that to be the downside on this one. So here's my team. Ali in goals. He's going to play Dom Slobosby right back, Kirkes left back, Konate, Van Dijk, Gravenberch, Maka, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, Ekitike. I would like to see Jones play just for the energy instead of Maka, but I think there's been a fallout with Jones and Slot, and I think we won't see, unless there's an injury in that midfield area, we won't see him start Jones. I mean, he might start him against Brighton. Depends how important he takes that FA Cup game. But yeah, it's just in the back of my mind that unfortunately we probably might not see as much as Jones as what we want to. So that's me done for this one. Really appreciate you watching this video. The post match will be out at 8 o'clock on Sunday after the game, and hopefully the Reds can get the three needed points. We'll need the Anfield choir throughout the 90 minutes in this one, and obviously they've got 2 players that we were apparently linked with in Mark Gahey. Well, that was nearly done, wasn't it? Well, it done and dusted, photographs taken. He was in a Liverpool top. And also Semenyo from Bournemouth. Not sure how far that was down the line, but yeah, both of those players will be playing against us, and the Reds need to put on another show, and get 3 points. And if we get those 3 points, the pressure's still on United and Chelsea, because they've got easy games to come. Chelsea might be going through a bit of slight lull, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, have a boss weekend, won't you guys? And I'll speak to you on Sunday. Up the Reds.